This is Jen from Aussie-Rig-Renos. Welcome to my channel. Today we're looking at laying down the vinyl flooring planks. Some people call it the timber floor planks or just vinyl flooring. These I was very lucky to get secondhand. They'd been down once, and so I found by soaking them for 3 days in a pool, you could then scrape off the excess glue and things off the back like butter. So I was very lucky. I was unsure how many and how much I'd have, but it seems I have plenty. So I've set it up on a table outside with all the essentials, and I've gone through and just picked and chosen the right planks. Some had little gouges off the side, and I was quite fussy. Also, by watching different other people laying them down, examples, I've noted that it's best to go alternate, so you put your seams in between. You see you've got those gaps, and so it looks a lot better. Now, the other thing I wanted to do this quick little video for, there were parts of the Caravan floor. Number one, we've left the existing vinyl down. Now that's because often there is asbestos underneath and you don't want to make yourself sick before you even get to enjoy your van. So that's remained there, but there were parts like this underneath where there used to be a cupboard in the fridge, and then up the front where there was a bed that had nothing. So I sealed those with a waterproof membrane adhesive, and I gave it 3 coats to really seal it. Now this is because you'll hear different reports from people that these tiles are prone to shrinkage or swelling. And of course then with the just peel off adhesion that they come with, they can lift. So there's a couple of things you can do to prevent that. You can use your own glue as well. This is the vinyl adhesive that I've chosen to use. So it's a Dunlop high strength water vinyl adhesive. And they show you, if you read it all up, it's especially for tiles, everything, and you can use it on almost any flooring. So at first I bought this comb, but it was, does it have? Yeah, 4 mil. It was too big a gap. This is way too much. And the one thing it shows you in my little test run under the bed, it shows you not to let those bottom parts of the comb actually scrape the floor and leave no glue there, right? It actually says to use these kind of teeth. Now, while this is also a 4 mil, it has a fairly small little tooth on it, so I think that's going to be great. And I went a little overboard. This does up to 18 meters square. There's that in focus, and the van I've estimated to about 13. So this is a 14-foot van, but it's, you know, 2 meters wide and 4 meters down, and with the cutouts and everything, it's probably going to be around the 13 square meters. So we've got plenty. And I had previously tried out down here a little tub. Now that little tub was a 1 litre, and that I used a third of it just doing under the bed. So I went a little bit thick. And what I found initially is when I pushed the tiles down, it came up between the tiles. So I had to quickly wipe that away. After you've put the tiles down, and this is the wet method, they describe the wet or the dry method. I chose the wet method. That means you put the glue down and you put the planks down pretty much straight away. Then you use an old paint roller, or if you have a roller like a black vinyl roller from doing stenciling or anything, you can use that too. So I just used an old one that still had a lot of paint in it and before it was chucked, and it does the same thing. So you're going to roll down by pushing down, and it actually tells you not to walk on the tiles for about 72 hours. So you want to let them set off. I've also set up, here's my cutting board, so don't just guess your cuts and don't think that you can cut a straight line, because you can't. Better to use a checkerboard so you can go by the checks. You use your very sharp pencil, and then you use this T-square to go like basically like that and cut down your square. So it's easier to do, and anyone can do this. The other thing you need is spare blades, but after just doing you know, a few cuts on these, maybe a dozen cuts, my blade is blunt. So the last one took me about 10 slices to get through it. So you want to have a spare blade, or be familiar with these Stanley knives. Don't use an NT cutter or one of those slide out other plastic blades. They'll snap and they're just not durable enough. You really need a Stanley knife, and if I open that up I can flip the blade and get a clean one, but I do have a packet at the ready in case I snap them. You don't want to have to stop this and go running off to the hardware store. The other tool I found is a kneeling pad, just a folded up towel, save your knees. Now the main reason I wanted to show this, I found out from Bunnings, from the tiling expert, that where you have a ridge, I wasn't sure if I needed to lay a tile down and then tile over the top here for where it stepped down. And he said, no, you don't. You just use some of that that paste, the glue that we've just bought, and put that down just to avoid the ridge down, so that you're not having that little step. So I did that about 4 days ago and just let it set off so it won't stick to it while I'm doing this. So the other thing you have to think about is little things like that. The hole where the wires are going to exit the van, I've chosen there. They'll go straight down onto the drawbar and out the front. And the reason these planks are sitting here is because, well, very cleverly, we have found, ta-da, it's only a 3/4 in here. So I'm going to have to cut all the way down, and I could alternate. I could pull these ones forward and just do a short one here and do the same here, but I've decided this is under the furniture, and the furniture is going to come out to about here. So I've decided that that ridge along there is the best place for me to have a short plank, because it's going to have the doorway and the edge of the furniture, whereas under here is where my lounge is and where the batteries are going to sit and the battery frames. So I sort of want it to look a little bit better and be sealed under there. The other problem was here under the little floorboard, the screws were already burred, couldn't get them out. So I ended up bending this with a screwdriver, and oh my goodness, I found so many things under there, like 5-cent pieces, brackets, chains, nails, all sorts of things. So I really thought I'd clean this van thoroughly before I even did the insulation, and then I cleaned up after again. I vacuumed it I don't know how many times. And there was still rubbish under there. So it's amazing what 43 years old can acquire. You can see I've done some insulating, and that is totally covered in another video. A good tip, I have brought back the air conditioner in because we're going to get warm temperatures here in Australia today, tomorrow, so I'm going to be running the aircon to keep this area cool, because the destructions on the vinyl adhesive say not over 30 degrees, and we are going to have fairly reasonably high temperatures. At the moment we're sitting on 25, so I've brought in the thermometer so I can just keep an eye on that, because otherwise the glue won't set off, and you just don't want problems with it, you know. This is a one chance thing, otherwise you've got one awful big mess to clean up. So yes, I know my wheel arches are missing. They're coming next, but I figured I wanted the floor down first before I do any planks. I will use an L bracket plastic rimmed edge to seal all the way around as well, so that nothing can get under the floor. Welcome back to video 2 of laying the floor tiles. Here we are, we've finished our placement. Now, remembering this is only the dry version. It's just laid down without glue underneath, and I've come along and coded each one into where it goes. Apologise for the noise of the air conditioner, but it's drowning out the barking dog next door. So the other thing I wanted to point out with this, we discussed the wet method of laying these tiles down with the Dunlop glue. It's vinyl adhesive, so we'll just show that again. Dunlop vinyl adhesive. So we wanted to, hello Merlin, we wanted to just discuss the dry version is to put down the glue and leave it for 40 minutes and then press the tile into it. So that's the other method. The other tip I wanted to give you is, you'll notice I've laid the planks lengthways down the van. So this is because you walk up and down your van like this. So if you had them all acrossways, you would continually be kicking the edges. So this is the reason, apart from entering the van, you really don't scuff sideways. So it's the reason I feel is the better way to lay the tiles lengthways. All tips, don't shoot the messenger. These are just things I've learned along the way, and you know, at the end of the day we're all learning together. Thanks so much for watching. I will add a video to this when I've laid them down with the glue tomorrow and they're all in place, looking like a brand new flooring. Just wanted to do a finish up on the vinyl laying and show you what I ended up doing around the edges, because the boards came up to the edge and it had been very ragged. I cut it all back with a multi-tool, and then I went to Metal Mates and got some aluminium stripping, which I then put in there. It was an L bracket, so I've glued it with you know, really strong builder's glue, put it in there. Then I've used these little brackets, and the brackets will hold the wheel arch. So the wheel arch I have painted inside with bitumen paint, 3 coats, and it's of a very strong marine plate, and just white painted the outside. So that's going to lay on top of here, and it means we'll have plenty of room to get the beautiful tyres off if need be. Just wanted to wrap up on that. So, you know, you can see the timber floor made such a difference, and it really is the way to go. The proof has been in the pudding. Anywhere where I use the glue to level up the floor in patches work beautifully. Little tiny spots, you can see there's spots and things over it everywhere here. It's just from me working. I've got to clean it back with some Caro, and it comes up beautifully. So no point doing it every 5 minutes, but we've now got a shoes off policy inside the van so that we're not doing any scuff marks. But it really has come up a treat, and once the walls go in and the benches come in this week, it'll be beautiful. We'll clean it up and show you a final photo. Thanks so much for watching. It does mean a lot, and feel free to subscribe at the bottom. Bye for now.